All right, gentlemen, episode 23. The GOAT episode, the Jordan episode.
Ooh.
That just came to mind.
LBJ.
Oh, no.
Oh, you forgot.
So right now we're recording our second episode of the evening. We recorded one earlier.
Correct.
And I did not mention LeBron James.
I'm sorry.
Son of a bitch.
Because you said the GOAT episode 23, and I was going to say, yeah, he's the better 23. And shit, we got to re-record that last episode.
We'll just do a promo, just you.
Okay.
You just look at the camera and be like, hey, LeBron, fuck you. And then that'll be the start. Does that work? All right.
Okay. All right,
So,
cancel that.
Yeah. Episode 23. More up to date in our life. Joey Bosa signed for a lot of money that he didn't deserve. I don't think he's worth the money. I'm just my personal opinion. Yeah. And Khabib is coming out of hiding to fight Gaethje, which I'm pumped for.
I am pumped for that fight.
So, unfortunately, the fight is October 24th, so I got to talk to wife and having a baby just a little bit sooner.
Okay.
All right. We do that? All right.
We'll be here. I mean,
yeah.
if there's a baby on the floor.
I'm a dad. I can help.
Yeah, just do the 25th. So, if it's on or due date, yeah. Get your catcher's mitt out.
Oh, that's, yeah. No, I see what you're saying.
Blue.
You might be at the
18.
hospital.
Yeah, I don't know.
All
So
right.
we'll see.
Come
We
on.
could just watch. We could
22nd.
Yeah. Like the 19th or something.
Yeah.
So, Adam, fill them in on what we're drinking here. We were at in the last episode. We couldn't talk about it yet.
Yeah. We got a club thrower, which was started by Ricky Pruden.
The original club thrower.
The original club thrower. He came out with this Thursday night
Yep.
of best ball night.
Yep.
And like, what are you drinking? He's like, well, another course they call chip shot.
Which sounded like a pussy drink.
Right. He said it's Tito's, squirt, and a little bit of pineapple juice.
Yep.
So we said, well, let's get us all one.
Yep. Ron was offering to buy a round. I believe he was going in to get a round.
He was.
And that's when we were like, Ricky, what are you drinking? You had that conversation. We were all like, yeah, we'll take some of those. And then after a couple of them,
I needed a better name.
Yeah, we put two and two together that Ricky throws clubs. So let's call it the club thrower.
The club thrower.
I think we had enough of them over the 4 days that it's probably going to make an appearance on their drink menu next year.
We could literally go in the bar and say, I need club thrower, and they knew what it was.
Yeah.
We were ordering a drink, not on the menu, and getting it.
Yes.
For 4 days.
It was impressive.
And a lot of them for 4 days.
Even the GM was like, on Sunday, and we were sitting at the table.
Yeah.
He walked up to the bartender. He's like, I need club throwers for those guys over there.
So even
And
he
she knew exactly what they were. So, yeah. Word is it's going on the menu as a club thrower. That'd be really sweet if that happens. So, let's start with baseball. A lot of teams are playing. The Marlins are not. But let's start with baseball. Where do you want to start?
Yeah, so baseball's back. It started about a week now, right?
Thursday. Last Thursday?
Oh, almost a week.
Thursday, Friday, whenever you want to call opening day.
It's very strange. The no fans is far more noticeable versus, we've watched UFC fights, things of that nature without fans. Yeah. It's very obvious in baseball.
No fan. I saw some people in the stands.
Oh, boy. Cardboard cutouts. In some stadiums. Houston, they don't have them, so it's just empty seats. It's weird. And they're pumping in
music
and noise, fake crowd noise.
It's from the video game.
From the video game, yeah. It's strange. It doesn't seem...
I haven't heard any interviews from guys, like, saying anything about it, but I also haven't looked for it. So I don't know if any guys have mentioned anything about it being negative or positive.
Right, yeah.
Now, I haven't had a chance to watch a lot of it before you guys came over tonight. There was a game on TV. Oakland was playing Colorado.
They don't have many fans.
So it looked normal. They were in Oakland, so it looked pretty normal. But what they did have, which was pretty cool, is I know all of these fans have like the cardboard cutouts, all these stadiums. Oakland has a cardboard cutout of a hot dog vendor right behind home plate as well. So
Oakland?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if this might be a partial lie, but I believe that's because Tom Hanks, back in the 70s when he was a kid or much younger, worked at Oakland as a food vendor. And
So is it
so
Tom
he
Hanks?
was going to do voiceovers. So they're playing the crowd noise. He was going to do voiceovers so that they could have Tom Hanks screaming, like, get your hot dog here. So that might
really?
be a link
Oh.
to that story.
That's pretty good.
That would be good.
Yeah.
I saw the Dodgers now. You can buy cardboard cutouts for your dog and cat.
Oh, really?
$150 for a dog or cat. And I think
if you're not
the
selling
Dodgers,
tickets.
right, in the Dodgers, I think they said it's like 150 to 250 depending on where you want your cardboard cutout.
Yeah, 2 dogs in LA's not worth it.
So so far to me the biggest story of baseball happened last night.
Oh yeah.
We've talked about the Houston Astros a number of times.
Oh, yeah.
And their cheating scandal.
I didn't even
And-
think about it till after I saw
Yeah.
it that they were playing each other this
Yeah.
year.
So one of the World Series that they won was against the Dodgers. So I don't want to go down the cheating rabbit hole too far, but you could make the argument by them cheating, they potentially stole the World Series from the Dodgers. So we'll just leave that at that. So they played the Dodgers last night. Joe Kelly was on the mound pitching for LA.
Did he play for Boston at the time?
I was going to say I don't believe he was on the Dodgers at the time.
I thought he was. I thought he got traded at the deadline that year. So I think he might have been in LA.
So anyways, either way,
Stat guy. Check
Last-
that out for us.
either way, last night he did not have his best stuff. He didn't have his command, especially of his fastball. So
How about the guy who broke his own window, too? He missed like a jump house size net into his window.
Yes,
so
he did.
we'll carry on with your story.
So he looked like he went into full screw up mode. I'm going to throw at these guys. So
He just didn't have any qualms about it.
so
How did he get tossed?
So he had a 3-0 count on Bregman, and he sailed a 2-seam fastball behind Bregman's head. Instead of just walking him, he looked like, screw it, I'm just going to hit him. And Bregman looked like he was about to shit his pants because that one came real close to his head.
And he was not playing he was in Boston.
Yeah.
Last year was his first year in LA.
Okay.
And then the next batter, Correa, same thing. He was all over with his fastball, so he started throwing his curveball slider, whichever one he has in his repertoire. He struck Correa out, and then as they were walking off, he looked at Correa. They looked at each other, and Joe Kelly went into like the crying face mode. And then I believe he said something like, "You're a terrible hitter now that you can't cheat," or something like that. Something along those lines. I don't know the exact quote, but basically saying, "Hey, you can't cheat, now you can't hit, can you?" And the benches cleared. They didn't really fight or anything, but
And
it's
Joe Kelly,
gonna
when the bench is cleared, Joe Kelly wasn't even like near the front. He was like back in the dugout. Like he
Yeah.
didn't care. He's like, whatever.
He did his part.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, a couple points on this. I think we all predicted or assumed the Astros are going to have a number of issues like this throughout the season. They're going to have a bunch of teams that want to throw at them, want to get their revenge, if you will, due to the cheating scandal. And then number 2, Joe Kelly was suspended 8 games today.
Oh, he was?
Yeah, he did.
Yes.
He wasn't even
Which-
tossed from the game last night.
So he was suspended 8 games.
Which is
Sounds like an okay number until you think about the fact that it's only a 60-game season.
He got paid. He got spent 18% of the
Yeah.
games.
So for the equivalent of a normal season, this is like a 22-game suspension, which would be crazy long. So I think the suspension's a bit harsh, especially since you could argue he was trying to hit those guys. I don't know. You could also argue that he was throwing behind them because he didn't actually hit somebody.
I don't know if it would have made a difference. Obviously, the one for Bregman was 3 inches behind his head.
Yeah.
If he just throws it behind his back, I don't know if it helps the situation, but
Right.
it was 3 inches behind his head.
Yeah.
Like because Kelly throws upper 90s.
He throws gas.
He brings it.
Yep.
So it was no getting out of it.
No.
It was coming.
So I don't know. I think last night was just they're actually playing tonight.
All right.
Yeah.
That's on right now. We should actually switch that over.
What channel's on it?
ESPN. I think watching that, I believe last night was just kind of a preview for what we're going to see happen to the Astros.
And we didn't see anything with the Astros the first series. They played Seattle too, so I mean,
Seattle Pride didn't really give a shit.
yeah, they didn't care.
It's going to be the teams like L.A. that they met in the World Series, the Yankees, and some of the other American League teams that they beat
Baltimore,
in playoff series.
Tampa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
The problem is, they're not going to play half those teams. So
Right.
True.
I mean, if you're the Astros, you can in the media defend yourself, so you're blue in the face. But if someone throws at you, do you really have a stance to like start a borderline brawl or charge them out?
Right.
The only thing I'll say is I don't care what the scenario is. You don't throw at a guy's head.
Yeah.
If you want to drill a guy in the rib cage all 4 at bats, then so be it.
Yep.
You don't throw at his head though, because you can affect his life if you hit him.
Right. No, I agree with that.
Yeah, and I thought it was interesting that I think it was 5-2 at the time in the 6th. So it's not like the game was out of hand one way or the other.
Right.
I think the situation was Joe Kelly knew he did not have his stuff, had no control,
Right, yeah,
and he was coming out of that game soon anyways.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I was watching the game last night, and then I fell asleep before that happened. Then I woke up and saw it, but yeah, I'm like, this is great. But it's gonna be like this all year probably. So
Yeah. Well, maybe the 8 games is kind of like a deterrent, hopefully, by the league to everybody else. It's kind of sending a message like,
Maybe.
don't do this.
Probably
No,
is.
it's 8 games. Is it 8 actual games, or is it 8 starts?
no,
no,
it's
8 games. 'cause
8
He's a
games.
relief.
He's a
pitcher.
reliever.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
But like I said, that's normally like a 3 or 4 game suspension, and even 3-4 game suspension seems like a lot in that case for a normal.
Because he didn't
season
actually
like-
hit
Because
anybody.
he didn't actually hit anyone.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe this. I think it's the league probably trying to send a message to. We don't want this all year long.
Right.
They probably don't disagree with the fact it's being done, but they don't want the PR
Exactly.
headache, and they don't want the image of like this is all baseball's become and the Astros play.
Right. I get it.
No, go ahead. Ask me about the Yankees and the camera. Go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead.
So story came out today, a video of it wasn't confirmed that it was a Yankees employee, and they couldn't find the guy, I heard. Or no one was claiming that they knew who he was.
Okay.
But I think after everything you see that happened to the Astros, I don't think you're going to be like, yeah, I know who that guy was.
Right.
So, that there was a camera, high-powered camera, facing the catcher, zoomed in on him, and in the picture obviously was not blurry, or it was blurry, but you could clearly tell it was a pinstripe uniform hitting.
Okay.
And when the video zoomed out, you could clearly tell it was Yankee Stadium from the billboards.
So everybody
So
has
what do you
fucking
got?
cameras. I don't.
And
I'm
it
not
was an 18 playoffs is when this video was taken.
I'm not going to defend. I don't care if it's my favorite team or not. I think it's if you're cheating, you're an asshole, regardless of who it is. I think we've talked about it before with the whole Astros thing. Again, I don't want to go down a rabbit hole with Houston, but I think baseball as a whole, the whole sign stealing or trying to catch an advantage has always been a thing. The issue with Houston wasn't the fact that they were doing it; it's how they did it. I mean, you're in your clubhouse smashing a trash can.
But we don't know what we know the Yankees, if this was, we'll just say it is for now. You're showing the camera on the catcher. We don't know what was happening. Did he have something relaying it somehow?
Well, that'd
We
be
don't
the
know. We
question.
don't know. Yeah, we don't know yet.
But we do know Houston was.
Right.
That's the difference in all. I mean,
Yeah, and like I said,
could
until
probably
something
dig into-
conclusive comes out of it, but
right. You could probably dig into a lot of teams and be like, oh, they have a camera that faces home plate or whatever.
it was 18 the year they lost to the Astros in the ALCS.
Yes, I believe so.
I don't
I
remember.
don't remember exactly.
I can't remember, but I think the difference with Houston was they were able to like pin down the fact that these guys were able to communicate to the batter before the pitch came. They were able to they had some sort of system that I think that was the difference. We all know the sign stealing is a thing in baseball. That's just baseball. It's been baseball for years. It's just frowned upon. Like masturbating on an airplane. It's not illegal. It's just frowned upon.
All right.
I think the difference was. Man, these club throwers are starting to hit me. I think the difference was they were able to prove, and that's why there was punishments handed down.
What happens in like 3 months when they pinpoint it.
Then people need to get suspended. If you can prove that they were in any way, shape, or form communicating that to the, I'm not going to defend them because I'm like the Yankees. Like, if same thing. Like, to me, like Houston fans defending Houston, you kind of look like an idiot.
Right.
You look like you're defending OJ. Like, oh, it's like, no. Like, enjoy your team, be a fan of your team, but at the end of the day, have some common sense. Like, I don't care who it is. If the Yankees got nailed for banging a trash can, I'm sorry. Like, whoever, the same thing should have happened. People should have taken the fall. People should have got suspended. And guess what? As a Yankee fan, I better be able to spend the rest of my life getting some sort of like Snyder mark and joke on. Like, oh, remember the time the Yankees banged on trash can? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. Like, you just got to be able to take it. Like, I also don't play for the Yankees, so I can't make those decisions and be like, you guys shouldn't do that.
Right.
Like, I'm just a fan of the game. I enjoy watching. I grew up a Yankees fan.
And that, yeah, obviously I don't like the Yankees, but as many veterans and stuff that they have on that team, I think that would be surprising. I think like the Astros are a younger team.
Right.
And we do know that a couple of veterans said, we
Right.
shouldn't be doing this. But they are a very veteran team.
Especially with Boone at the helm.
Yeah. He seems like a cheater in his day, though.
I don't know. He's a savage is what he is. These guys are savages. No, I would, if it came out that the Yankees were able to communicate and they were cheating, I'd feel the same way. Like, you're an asshole for it and you shouldn't be doing that. No way, shape, or form I would defend it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, the guy had that lens, a bigger lens than you have. The thing was huge.
We talking about camera lenses here? What are we talking about? Okay.
Yeah.
But overall,
there was no need for. There is far less proof with this Yankees thing.
Yeah.
But what this guy was doing was extremely fishy. There was no need. The camera setup this guy had with the cell phone in his hand.
yeah, and zoomed in
on home plate. He was up to something.
Right.
I'll say that. It was.
You gotta be a really quick texter to be able to communicate that.
Yeah, and no one. I think.
Well, whatever the Astros were doing had to be real quick too.
Just bang bang on a trash can.
Yeah, but you had to again have a camera.
Yeah.
With the setup.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah. So, but overall, I think the first week of baseball has been good. I think in the first, say, 3 games, no one was undefeated. Everybody had a win. So I think this, and obviously in our predictions, Russ had a couple of surprise teams in there. I think a couple teams are going to be able to hang in for a little bit in the season. Yeah. I did hear someone on the radio today. He's from the Detroit area. He's like, the Tigers are still in it in July.
First time in a long time.
One thing we should mention, we gave our predictions based on traditional baseball playoffs. They must have snuck this in the day before the season started, where they're actually going with a different playoff format.
Yeah, because I think I saw it Thursday night when I
haven't seen the format, I should say, but so traditionally the last few years and what we predicted on, they were having the 3 division winners and then you have the 2 wild card teams that play the wild card play-in game. This year, into some sort of playoff scenario, they're taking the top 2 teams in each division for 6, and then I believe the 4 next best teams.
2 next.
Just 2, so it's 8 total?
8 per division, or 8 per conference. 16 total teams.
Okay. So it's the 2 best teams out of each division plus 2 wild cards for a total of 8 teams in each league.
Yep, and then the first round of the playoffs is, so the first 3 seeds will be the division winners based on record.
And then 4 wild cards?
Nope. Then 4 through 6 will be the second place teams in each division based on record. And then the next 2 best teams in all of the American League or National League.
So they're taking how many for each division?
8 from each. 8 from the American League, 8 from National League.
Okay, so I remember we talked about the change in format. I asked you guys last week if they changed it. Because I don't know if this was the proposed, but we had talked about the 3 division winners plus the 4 wild cards.
So this is only for 2020.
For 1 year.
This is only this year because, and part of the reason they said they did it is because, I'm seeing a video of Joe Kelly breaking a window right now.
There it is, man.
But they said they did it so that there was less ties because they didn't want to play extra games at the end of the year.
It makes total sense.
So, and if there are ties for divisions, it's going to go off mathematical stuff, so there won't be any playing games, hopefully. Watch, this will be the year there'll be like 4 teams tied at the bottom for the wild card. But they're hoping that having more teams doesn't allow for a tie.
Okay. I don't agree with that theory, though.
Especially with a shorter season, you still have it.
You still have the same potential for ties.
Oh,
it's just lower down.
100% agree, but that was their reasoning for it.
Maybe if you did a 162-game season, but
yeah.
I
agree
don't agree with their logic on that.
Yeah, and so then, the wild card, the first round, the number 1 seed will play the 8 seed. The first round is best of 3, and then the winners, the 1-8 winner will play the 4-5 winner, and so on. That's a best of 5, and then the championship series and World Series are best of 7s.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess they're only best of 3, but by the time they got this season started, I thought majority of the reason they went with a 60-game season was
full playoffs.
At the end of it, you can't extend too far because you potentially have weather issues,
right?
Especially in the northern parts of the country.
They said this only extends it like 1 or 2 days because it's best of 3. Whereas if you have the wild card, there's a game.
So he's still going to end in like October, end of October.
No, it's November, I think. I don't have the screenshot here.
Sorry, can you say that format again? The first round's best of 3.
First round's best of 3,
and
then best of 5 in the division series, and then the championship and World Series are best of 7.
Is the best of 3 just the wild card game?
Just the wild card. The whole first round is best of 3. So that'll be done in 4 days.
There's no more wild card game this year.
Right.
All 8 teams play.
Right. It's just a wild card series and then division series. So in reality, when you get to the division series, there's potential that no division winners are playing. Because all 3 of the division winners could potentially lose in the wild card series. Correct.
And we talked about that in the past, too.
You have to earn your spot into the next round.
Right. And we talked about that in the past was you could have, 5-game, 7-game series. Let's just not take 3 days off in between games.
Right.
That never made sense to me. Like, all season you play, 4 or 5 days in a row, take a day off, and you're back to 4 or 5 days.
Because I forget, was the division series 7 or 5? Best of 7 or 5?
I believe it's 7.
Is that so? Maybe this is. I thought it was 5 for
I think
this.
it's 5.
I thought it was 1 game wild card and then best of 5 and then 7-7.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's why. That's why I think they're only basically extending it like 2 or 3 days, because that first round that you're basically ending that in 4 days. That first round will take 4 days, and I think it's 2-1. No. All 3, the wild card series, all 3 games are at the higher seeds home park. So they don't travel that first round.
That helps. Huh.
And then that's 2-2-1 division series.
So
and then 2-3-2 in the
So for the best of 3, they play the first 2 games?
They're all in the higher seeds park.
See, I don't like that. I think because of the
but
crunch schedule, you should play the first game away and then the last 2 at
but that puts more emphasis on winning the division. If you win the division, you get home games.
So,
I'm saying for logistics and travel and your crunch for time, wouldn't it be easier to just play game 1 away and then the higher seed gets the last 2 games?
So it may be slim, but the reason I don't like that is you could have, especially the 4-5 matchup, you could actually have the 5th team on the road that has a better record than the 4th overall team.
No.
Well, there could be matchups like that. There 100% could.
Not in the first round. Because the 3 division winners will be 1, 2, 3. And then 4 through 6 are the second place in the division. I guess you're right.
So you can always have a wild card that has a better record than, say, the second.
No, because right? The second.
Yeah, 100% you could. So if the Braves come in 3rd place in the East, you can't tell me they couldn't have a better record than second place out in the West.
True.
Could absolutely happen.
Yeah, 100%.
It's no different than now when you got teams that get first round buys.
So you could have the Braves with a 40-20 record having to go out and play the Diamondbacks
Right.
who in the shitty division went 30-30.
He's right.
Yeah.
And then
But you
don't
could
don't
do the
even
same
get a home
thing
game.
now, right? The wild card team could definitely be better
Yes. Well,
than
the example now is it happened to the Yankees a couple years ago. They had the second best record in baseball
Right, and they had
behind
to go
them,
on.
and they had to play the play-in game.
They had to play in the playing game. So
They had a better record than, I think, Oakland that year by like 10, 12 games.
But that's a one game, though.
Right.
You're talking about a series here where you don't even get a home game.
I'm guessing they just did it for travel purposes.
And that's always been my
Cut it
problem with the wild card game.
Yeah,
As much
that
as I
had-
enjoyed it,
That happened to the Pirates one year. They had the second best record in baseball behind the Cardinals, who happened to be in the same division.
out. Right.
And they lost the wild card game,
the
and
Giants,
so they had the second best record in all of the majors, and didn't even get a playoff series.
that's why I always thought the wild card game should be a series of at least best of 3.
Yes, everything in baseball is series based,
Right.
except that stupid
Yeah.
wild card game.
So it'll be interesting if they, like I said, this is only for 2020. So it'll be interesting if they try to, and I think a lot of teams are unhappy, or a lot of people are unhappy about it because 16 teams get in. Every other sport does it.
Teams got to be
So-
happy, though, because players
Right.
feel like they're making it worth their while for playing the condensed
Yeah.
season.
Yeah, and I think if they decide, hey, we're gonna keep it this way, and maybe you just do 3 division winners and then the next best 5 teams in the AL or NL, instead of doing the top 2 in each division, because as we've seen it, a team could run away with it, but that second place team could lose that division by 15 games, 20 games, but they're gonna get in.
Yeah, baseball's the one sport where I'm okay with this year them doing something screwy because the season is much shorter.
Right.
But baseball's the one sport where I don't want to really see the playoffs expanded in general. To me, the playoffs are used to figure out who your 2 best teams are to play for a championship.
Right.
And one of the baseball greats, and I should probably just look this up, but I don't know if it was like Willie Mays or somebody like that, said they should just play the season, and at the end you have the best team in the American League play the best team in the National League for the World Series. Because why do you really need a playoff system? After 162 games, you can't figure out who's the top team in baseball,
Right.
or in each league. No, I don't know. The baseball season, a regular baseball season takes forever,
Yeah.
and then you add another month of playoffs on
Right.
if you were to expand it and have extra series. And
My only hang up with the current, not this year, just the normal current system, is the wild card game is 1 game. It should be 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just looking. It's probably at least 6 weeks of playoffs, somewhere in there, because division series has to be at least a week, because a day of travel in between. So I got. I mean, obviously, if it goes all 5,
Yeah.
but it's probably 6 weeks of playoffs.
And even if it doesn't go all 5, the
You got
TV
what?
schedule is still, it is what it is.
Right.
Like you can end early. It's still going to start when
Yeah.
it hasn't started.
Which I find funny too, because I think hockey, if those 2 teams are done, I think they'll start playing.
yes,
Like there's been like games 1 and 2, like when a game 7's going on
yes,
in the
Oh,
same
really?
conference. So a team could have like, I think a couple of years ago, one of the teams had like a 10-day layoff
yes,
before the Eastern Conference Finals,
yep,
which just makes it
yeah. When
Odd.
when 2 teams that are matched up are ready to go, they go
They should.
in hockey. Yep, you're still going to get the TV slots.
Seriously. I mean, well, the flexibility there is, and the argument is, okay, well, we are scheduled for 7 games. Oh, it only went 4.
right.
But if it goes to game 5, you flex it. If it goes to game 6, you flex the TV schedule.
Yeah.
Just do it the other way for the beginning games.
Yep.
You mentioned Joey Bosa's contract.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes recently signed his massive deal. We already talked about that.
Oh.
And
Today they announced
Yeah.
yesterday. So he is now a part owner of the Kansas City Royals, the baseball team in his home, not hometown, but his current city. So
he was drafted to play baseball. He chose football.
yeah, well, his dad was a hell of a pitcher
Yep.
for the Mets. I don't know that we've ever heard of an active player in one of the 4 major sports owning another team in the 4 major
Yeah. And
sports.
I didn't. How much does he own? I didn't
didn't
look
see
at-
the
and-
percentage.
And I don't know if they said.
I've
They
got
just said it was an ownership group, correct?
Yeah, he said he
Okay.
bought an ownership stake in the Royals, something like that. So it For all we know, it might be 2%.
George Brett owns part of the Royals too, right?
Possible.
I don't know that. I know there's players that own certain sports teams, like you think about the Sabres, Zemgus,
Right.
Girgensons. He is, I think, full ownership of the Canadian junior team that he played for.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of examples like that. But when you think about the four major sports,
Gretzky did it.
Okay, but not while he was playing though.
No, I don't. I don't believe so.
I can't come up with another example where an active player,
while playing,
owned a portion of one of the other four major sports teams.
I think.
Do you think he tried to go to the Chiefs first and be like, "Hey, can I buy in?"
As much money as they gave him, I'm surprised there's not something like that.
Like
in there.
small, yeah.
If you play out this whole contract, you get
5% of your team.
something like that. I wonder if we could find out who
Yeah, I don't know.
Royals ownership percentages are, but that.
Yeah, I think George Brett's a minority owner of the Royals too.
That wouldn't shock me at all. I mean, he was there forever. And he was kind of like the man.
I
there
just
for a
thought I
while.
just remember them mentioning a couple of years ago when they won the World Series. I thought
And Buffalo has a baseball team now.
They do temporarily.
the BBJs
Well, they have a Major League Baseball team now.
Correct. So where are they playing? Are they going to play?
at Salen's Field,
Okay,
Yeah, the only
where the Bisons play.
that's what I thought.
So the Buffalo Bisons, they've jumped around affiliations, but the Buffalo Bisons are Toronto's AAA baseball team.
They were Atlantis for a while, weren't they?
No, they were Cleveland. For a little bit. I think they went to the Mets
Yep.
and then Toronto.
Okay.
They've been in Toronto probably the past 3 years, maybe. Yeah, they were with the Indians initially, I believe.
Okay. So last week you and I were talking about NHL starting with Buffalo, with the whole Toronto looking for a place. Excuse me. And Toronto looking for a place to play, and they tried to go to Pittsburgh. Was it Pittsburgh who said you can't play here?
It was the state of Pennsylvania
Yeah.
Okay.
that due to whatever travel restrictions.
And my rebuttal to that was, what if Toronto turns around and says, okay, well then the Penguins can't come up here and play?
Yep. That would have been funny.
That's just me.
Yeah. Would have sucked to be Crosby.
And they're doing the Penguins a favor. They're doing it state of PA a favor. 'Cause it means they're going to catch a bit of that revenue when it comes to income tax and just whatever. But
Yeah.
Well, Toronto welcomes it because the tax is so high.
right. No, I get it. So
It'd be interesting. I'm sure. I don't know. They should have some televised games, national TV, if not national, but we'll see them on
Yeah.
when they play the Yankees and whatnot.
I think
But
I said
it'd be interesting seeing that in the AAA part.
Yeah, I think I read August 9th maybe is the first. They're going to play everything on the road until then. They had to make a couple changes to
they
the park.
rearranged, have some double headers and stuff to.
No, I think they're just making changes to the park.
No, I'm talking about their schedule.
Yeah,
like,
their schedule.
when was there supposed to be their first home game?
Thursday, Friday.
So they had to change all that.
Well, I think they just changed them all to you're going on the road.
Right.
Which I'm surprised they didn't end up. Obviously, Buffalo probably said, "All right," or I don't think it was Buffalo saying they couldn't come there, but Toronto didn't want to go there initially. I think because of the lights. They said.
Well, I know Toronto wanted their team to feel like they were playing fairly to everybody else and put them in a major league ballpark. I saw something today on TV.
The fence isn't any different.
Right. I saw something today on TV that made a ton of sense. They were talking about how the Marlins aren't playing right now. They're going to be off. They're going to try to make up the games.
That to me, that's going to be crazy.
It is, because they're going to have to play a lot of double headers and stuff. The thing is like, there's a couple things that I have questions on for the Marlins. One, it was 11. It wasn't 11 players. 11 or 14. It was like there was coaches
Players
involved.
and coaches, yeah.
Right, it was total. So it's not like they're down 14 players, right?
Right. Yeah, they said they were having trouble. They could have trouble fielding a team, and I'm like,
You have
they had
to-
a 60-man pool
Yeah.
to choose from.
Exactly. So one of the guys asked a baseball expert about basically like, is this fair or whatever? And the rebuttal was, nothing about the season. There's a lot of things about the season could go wrong. It's not going to be fair, but it is what it is. We're playing baseball, so deal with it. And that's how I feel. I mean, the NBA, yes, they're in a bubble, but the NBA also has some sort of protocol or plan in place. If a guy tests positive or 5 guys test positive, they're still going to play. They're not going to stop. And baseball's got to do the same thing. And that's baseball's claiming they have those process and protocols in place. However, they had to test Philadelphia because Philly was in Miami. And Philly was supposed to play, I believe, New York.
Yes.
They played in Philadelphia.
In Philly, okay. But they didn't want New York coming into that clubhouse that they had just been in, and all those players test positive.
Right. Yeah, now obviously the Yankees and Orioles are playing. They're basically making up 2 games tonight and tomorrow to actually just play.
Yes. And the good news of all this is nobody from Philly tested positive after.
Right. Yeah. And I didn't hear any Yankees because I know they tested them.
Yeah.
But
because the Marlins were still in Philadelphia. Or they may still be there.
Yeah.
They have not been able to travel.
Last I heard, they hadn't left the city.
Yeah, they're in Philadelphia.
My question, obviously, a couple of guys have tested positive in baseball, but 14 guys, and I don't remember.
The rumor is they went out to have a good time.
And I don't remember if it was a guy in the Marlins. Somebody tested positive, a bigger name, and then practiced for 2 days with the team after. And I don't remember who it was, but it was a bigger name.
Like you didn't notify the team, or you think the team would test him?
He got tested, and then he went and practiced with the team
before the results came back.
Yeah, and then 2 days later he got positive.
Okay, but did he get tested just as part of the standard protocol, or did he get tested because he was showing symptoms?
He got tested because of symptoms.
Okay, well then that's stupid.
Yeah, and it was a bigger name, and I don't remember who it was.
I couldn't name a single guy in the Marlins.
No, it wasn't with the Marlins. It was with another team.
Oh, okay.
My issue with a lot of this testing is the news hits. 14 guys test positive. Okay. Do we have 14 guys from the Marlins laying in a hospital bed, near death? As many of these false positives we have, I feel like we should do what golf's doing, and a day later say, hey, we're going to test you guys again. Did you truly test positive, or was it a false positive?
I think they are doing that.
Are they doing that?
Yeah.
So,
because I believe they,
because they're running.
I don't have all these details, but yes, I believe they tested. They then tested the whole Marlins team the next day. Also,
right.
Did they?
Yeah.
That's just me thinking out loud.
I thought they were getting tested every day. I don't know why they're not, but
that's just me thinking out loud because we had this with the PGA Tour, Cameron Champ.
Mm-hmm.
I said I don't know if anybody from the tour is actually showing symptoms, physical symptoms, and then
I don't know.
Anyway, I'm not going down.
Well, no, let's not get down this road. Bottom line is the Marlins are having some COVID issues. They're delayed. Delayed's not the right word. The Marlins season is on pause, I believe, through Sunday, and then they're going to have to make up a bunch of games. After that, through doubleheaders, which in turn screws the teams that screws their opponents.
Yeah, because I think the Braves have to play them. I think this coming weekend was going to be there, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong, but
so therefore the Braves. Whoever was supposed to play them now could potentially be getting a couple days off, but once those games come,
right,
their opponent's schedules just now got more difficult.
Yeah, and especially in 2 months, right? You could play 6 games in 3 days.
Yeah.
Especially if it was a division like the Marlins playing the Braves or Phillies or Nationals, you could at least extend those out and play. You wouldn't have to play 3 double headers in a row. You could play one now, one later, because you're playing 10 times.
Right.
But if you're playing someone they're supposed to play the Orioles, right?
Yes.
How are you going to make up those 3 games now? You're literally playing the Orioles 3 or 4 times throughout the year, and now you've got to make up 3 or 4 games.
Right.
And they have maybe 4 days off total the entire.
Do you just play somebody else?
So you?
Yeah, I don't know what they'll.
No, they'll keep the same number of games, but they'll probably now choose a random weekend where Florida was supposed to play, let's say Washington. If that was a 4-game set, they'll now turn that into 2 doubleheaders.
Right.
And then the other 2 days you're playing Baltimore.
Yeah,
it'll be something like that.
Yeah.
I'm guessing, but as you know, I'm a logistics master when it comes to sports, so that's how I would do it.
So everybody's ready to talk about the good stuff? Is there more stuff you want to talk about?
I'm just excited baseball's back.
I am too. NBA starts tomorrow.
There's 2 games tomorrow.
So I'll be watching that.
Is LeBron playing?
Oh, he is, baby.
Oh.
Maybe I won't be watching.
There it is. He got it in. Got it in. Oh, by the way, I saw an article today. Some lady from Buffalo area, her obituary
Yeah.
said she loved, I can't remember who, one of them was LeBron. She liked LeBron, but she hated Tom Brady. That was her obituary. And in the story, it mentioned like 2 other people who have done this. Like one guy died from Seattle one time. He had his cause of death listed as the poor play calling in the Super Bowl that year that they didn't hand the ball off. And then another guy was from Cleveland. He had it listed that he wanted 6 guys from the Browns to be his pallbearers so they could let him down one more time.
I like that.
But she had in her obituary that she hated Tom Brady, but she did love LeBron. So
No comment.
okay.
May she rest in peace. Next.
All right, gentlemen. So the real story for this last week and the reason we kind of took a week off was we were all extremely busy with the best ball. So those who don't know what that is, it's 4 days, golf, best ball tournament, match play, and a lot of drinking at club throwers apparently, which I did not plan on doing. And holy shit, I probably should have stuck to not doing that.
Yeah.
So I couldn't even put a number on how many were. Once they started getting out, a couple times people ordered 12 or 13 at a time.
So, yeah. Amongst our group of friends, which a couple of nights was like 20 guys sitting around. Over the 4 days, do you think we had 200 of them?
Probably.
Well more than that.
Yeah.
I don't know about well more than that, but
It's probably really close.
Well, I was gonna, if I had to put a number, I was gonna say 250 to 300.
I don't know. That's really high.
that's,
You think so?
That's real high, though.
Yeah.
How many do you think you had over the 4 day stretch?
You gotta
Probably-
subtract the day out where you left early.
I did. Probably, and I had 3 or 4 before I even left then.
Which, by the way, did he tell us he was leaving? Because
I did.
He claims
no,
he did.
I did. I did
I
tell
did
you I was
not.
leaving.
He said something like, I got to go soon or something like that. But wasn't this the day?
I just looked up. You're like, oh, there goes
We
Adam.
saw Adam's taillights going down the driveway. That's how we know. Oh, yeah, he left.
Yeah, Adam's out.
Wasn't that the day your wife was out of town, though? And you were able to stay a while?
She was coming back,
Yeah,
and I beat her home by 2 minutes. It was tight,
Nah, no.
but
It was you had to beat her home?
well, I wanted to see the kids, and I only had an hour before they went to bed. After they got
oh,
home.
you would have been there in the morning and afternoon tea time.
He's pulling the kid cards. We can't make fun of him.
No, I didn't have it after. I had morning tea time. It was
it
Saturday.
night?
It was Saturday.
Was it?
Yeah, it was Saturday. They went to Rochester Saturday. So I
Okay.
had the course I got the course at 6:30.
Nah, we all had morning tea times.
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
Which is good.
The rest of us made poor choices and stayed at the golf course. But let's back up.
I probably had like 15 or 20 club throwers over the 4 days. That might be low. I don't know.
All right.
I definitely had at least that many,
All right, never
and
mind.
it felt like I had.
You know what? We won't even get into these numbers then. Because I was going to say, we all know the dollar amount they cost. So
Yeah.
within our group, think about the money we spent
Oh,
on
yeah.
those.
Yeah,
Let's not throw that dollar amount out there.
no.
Anywho,
So let's start day by day because day by day it was pretty good. So Wednesday the plan was
Wednesday might have been the best day.
my plan for Wednesday before this tournament has always been the same for years. It's I do not play my practice round. I usually play there at some point. Prior to that,
yep.
I may go over to chip and putt and to socialize, just to kind of catch up with people who I only see during that tournament every year, and just kind of catch up. How you doing? Hope to see them. So the 3 of us rode over and did that. And the plan was come back here, cook out.
We did something prior to that too, but
No, yes, but yeah.
oh, okay. Never mind.
You talking about the shopping?
Yeah.
Or the Popeyes.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Well, the shopping, yeah, needed to be done, which I never felt uncomfortable with that putter. I actually felt more comfortable with that putter, but I just didn't really make anything. Contributed some of it to green speed that week, but.
Okay.
And yes, Russ had his
Carry
first
on.
Popeye
Russ-
chicken sandwich.
I did.
How was it, Russ?
It was delicious.
Do you want to go to Popeyes
He was
tomorrow?
making-
I'm kind of
noise-
hungry right now, actually. So
He was making noises in the front seat. I didn't know what was going on.
the worst part about Popeyes, though, was this guy hyped up the biscuit that came with every meal, and then the biscuit did not come with every meal.
Pretty sure the biscuit only comes with
So-
large fry. And put it in the box. We didn't have.
Well-
we just had like a bag of fries. So there was no
Maybe
biscuit.
I'll go to Popeyes and get you guys a biscuit sometime.
All right, go ahead.
I love the part, too. I said to Russ, you like pickles? He was like, yeah. I'm like, you can get that one on your shirt. You can finish.
Saving it for later.
So Wednesday night, the plan was we were to cook out here. Just hang out. Sheldon would play some music. We would play some cornhole, burgers, dogs, whatever. We cooked up a ton of food on the grill. Played a lot of cornhole. Mm-hmm. What turned out to be a pretty normal night ended.
Oh, I forgot about I was wondering where we were going with this. Yeah, okay.
You forgot about this?
I didn't forget, but
I had to look at it all weekend.
all right.
So
Carry on.
I don't know, and maybe you do. I had a few beers that night. The bet was made with you and Taylor. Ron and I had beat quite a few people that night in cornhole.
Initially, I wasn't even in it.
So that's what I'm asking you. Who started the bet?
I don't know.
I know who egged it on. Merrill egged it on a little bit, but
Taylor wanted to play. And then after he went over there, he's like, Adam, you going to play with me? I was like, sure. So I thought we were just playing cornhole. And then it escalated.
At that point, I think you were just playing cornhole.
yeah, you were at that point. I know at one point I told Taylor, man, you should shave your head. He's like, no, man.
Well, he said, I believe he said, before he showed up, you asked him where his Donald Trump hair ass was at.
That had nothing to do with his hair. It was more of like a joking statement of, because he was, first of all, was that night? No. The night I texted him, that was the night he showed up later than usual Thursday night to dinner, and I said, wearing a Donald Trump hairy ball sack are you at? That's what my text said. It had nothing to do with a reference to his hair. But Wednesday night.
And he was the only one here with hair on Wednesday.
This is correct.
Pretty much.
We're kind of foreshadowing what happens here, but. So the bet was made. I think Ron may have egged this and made this bet. The bet started with, we'll spot you 9 points if Ron and I beat you. Taylor has to shave his head. He said, what do I get if I beat you? I'm like, this only. And some people said, well, you get to keep your hair. Merrill said, bald's beautiful. And you should just do it. And then I think Merrill started some negotiating with the money. And then I don't know what it started at, but it ended with.
It started at 20 per you and Ron.
Right.
So 40 total.
And then I think it was Merrill who jumped in and said, Adam gets nothing.
Yep.
Because he's not risking anything.
I agree with that.
Taylor gets the $100. We'll spot you 10 points. That if Ron and I won, you had to shave your head.
This is where it gets depressing for me.
You guys were up 20-3.
Yeah. I don't even want to talk about, well, I guess I'll say it, but there was a lot of, the backyard was very loud at this time. Much louder than an MLB game at this point.
And I told a couple people this story.
I had like Ross, a bunch of people yelling, board it. I had people saying, you got to put it on. I didn't know what was going on.
We were legitimately trying to help you win that game. There was one point, I believe it was somewhere around 20-10-ish.
Yep.
And he had a chance to win the game by just putting one on the board, the last bag. Because he had 3 on. You had 3 on
and one off.
And one off the back.
So, and that's where I think I thought he had one. I thought his other one was on the back. And I think that's where I was.
And that's
either way, you just had to board it.
So right.
I tried to airmail one, I think.
So even if you thought it was on the back,
I could have tied it
tied
up.
the game.
But I went for the win at that point, thinking if I put it in,
so
we win.
Yeah. So you had 3 on with one in your hand. You had 3 on and one off the back. So we were telling him, just put it on the board. You put it on the board, you get 1 point, because it would have been his 4 to your 3.
And he choked it.
And he tried to airmail it into the hole.
It almost fucking went in, too.
But it didn't.
But it didn't.
Almost only counts in horseshoes, hand grenades, and nuclear bombs.
Nuclear bombs. We found that one out the other day.
So, yeah.
I texted
Adam had
Allie.
a chance to win the game.
I texted Allie, said, bring the clippers out. She thought we were shaving your head.
Right.
So she came out of the house, and then she realized what was going on because Meryl's like, plug those babies in. Plug them in. She's like, oh, no. You are not shaving Taylor's head. I go, yes, we are.
We are if he loses this game.
Yeah. And I was willing to compromise because he said, I want the first cut. And I said, all right. But then he said I should do a mohawk, which I was totally for. I would have compromised.
He screwed that up.
He ruined that.
He said that one shave too late.
Yeah, because he went like a back his head,
like around.
and then he went like over here around his head, and it was like,
he went like right through the middle of his head.
He was trying to put a crown on his head or something. I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
So I thought, not that I'm trying to get into Adam's wallet because it wouldn't have affected me at all. Taylor should have got the $100 no matter what. Just that if they won, the 100 would come from you and Ron.
Yep.
If they lost, he had to shave his head, and his partner had to pay him $100.
See,
So that would have been the
Enticing,
risk that he was playing.
and I wouldn't have done that.
I don't think he blew the game on purpose.
No,
No, I don't think he did it on purpose.
But I'm just really damn good. I'm just going to say it right now.
See, and that's where I wouldn't have, if that was the bet and I had to pay Taylor. I don't think I would have done that much because obviously I know how good Ron and Kyle are, and that was Taylor's second time ever playing cornhole. That's what he said.
He lied to you then.
All right.
He's been here throwing bags.
Oh, he said it was his second time ever playing. So
Yeah. He's been here at least 3 times just to throw bags, like when Russ is here. Am I wrong?
No, I mean, I haven't been keeping track.
It's at least 2, but
Yeah.
he's been here. He just, I don't know.
I thought he was playing.
He didn't play bad.
Like Cookie was.
Cookie's only played like a couple. The only time he's ever played, I think, is here.
He played well with him, and I played
Yeah.
you and Ron.
Cookie has played less than Taylor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's gotten better. He's realized you got to like flatten it out
Right.
and stuff.
Yeah. So,
And that was just Wednesday, guys.
spoiler alert of the story: they lost, and Taylor has no hair.
My partner and I went bald for the weekend.
Bald's beautiful. It was great though. It was fun. It made it for a great story.
You know, I think you realized when it was extremely hot on Friday because we played Thursday morning.
Yeah.
Without hair, the sweat just runs down your
It does.
face.
So we played Thursday morning. Rick and I played with you and Taylor. You played in the afternoon. You text me. We were like halfway through our round. He's like, "How's Taylor's hair look?" And I was like, "He hasn't taken his hat off all day. I have not."
I
seen
gave
it.
him a 3-star recruit hat, by the way.
Yeah, he literally. I don't know if I ever saw him with his head off. Besides the 800 other people at the course asking him to see his hair.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people knew the story, and then I showed up Thursday morning, and I think the first thing out of someone's mouth was, "Heard you cut some hair last night."
Dude, there were a couple people. I think Taylor knew him, but they were like, "Hey, let me see your hair," and I'm like, I don't know who you are.
Jeez.
Well, that, like Adam said, it was just Wednesday. So Thursday rolls around. Pretty standard qualifying day. Just kind of go out. This is where you get flighted and seated.
Yep.
How do you guys feel like you guys played? Which we talked in the last episode about scores being lower than normal in
Yeah,
tournaments.
they were definitely lower.
And first time in my life, and I've played this tournament for this is my 13th year. The first time in 13 years that I've seen the shootout score be under par to get into the championship
Yeah.
flight.
Because what we 20 teams under par qualifying, I think it was.
There was 7 teams for 4 spots in the shootout.
Okay, so there were so 19 teams.
Yeah.
Yes.
19 teams under par, which because Russ and Rick shot
It'd be
70.
20. It'd be 20. Because it's 16 in a flight. So they already had,
Yeah, but then 16 plus 3, 19.
they took 4 spots.
Right, and then there's 3 left
Number
over.
3 of the day.
I've had a couple club throwers.
19. 19 is the number. Yeah. So we, Rick and I played pretty well. We ended up shooting even par, which I was happy with. However, we started slow. We bogeyed.
Yeah.
We
Well,
bogeyed 1 and 2. So we had 4 bogeys overall, which I expected to have a couple. But when you start right out of the gate bogeying the first 2 holes, it feels like your feet are already in the quicksand and can't get out. So I think I'm happy that we shot even par. I would have felt a lot better if we had not, but if we even just scratched out a par in 1 and 2 and came in like 2 under.
You guys
Felt like that's where we should have been.
I remember when we were on 5 when you guys told me you guys had shot even. I thought you did enough to get in a championship flight. I did not see.
yeah.
Yeah.
So did I.
When we finished and we were even par, I was assuming we were in the championship flight. Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah, I thought they played well enough to be in championship flight.
The rumor was that 70s might be a shootout.
Correct. And there were 11 of them or something, 9 of them.
Big number.
It was a lot
big
of
number
even pars.
Even pars.
And then Rick's like, well, I didn't bring my clubs. I'm like, mine are still in my trunk. You can borrow those.
Yeah, because we played in the morning. We came home for a little while, a few hours, and he picked me up to go back down for dinner and the Calcutta and the potential shootout. So Yeah, knowing that we were at 70 and I thought we probably might be close, so I even brought my bag, threw it in the back of his car when we were down there, just in case. So, yeah, it is what it is. I mean, like I say, bogeys on 1 and 2 starting that slow hurt us. But
I want to give
the score.
Yeah, I want to give props to the country club for all. I mean, we say it; it goes without saying. I texted Matt. I talked to Jeff Thomas for all the bullshit they got to go through right now with all the restrictions and stuff.
Yep.
I put very little thought into the quality of like food. Like food wasn't the greatest, but that's because we're used to a different standard there.
Yep.
I just dealt with it. I didn't care. I really didn't. I understand that like it's not easy. I'm not gonna complain and moan about it. I didn't make it stink like, oh, this wasn't good or I didn't get that. I didn't care. I ate what I did and it's whatever. I know in a normal circumstance, like it's just hopefully this is a 1 year thing where they had to deal with these restrictions.
Yeah.
So
and I think Sunday at lunch was the first time I was like, this isn't very good. I guess my Friday dinner wasn't great.
Yeah.
But it was good. My Thursday dinner was great. But yeah, I thought food wise, from what I had, was still good.
It was good enough.
Yeah. Yeah, for what they had to do, everything was in to-go boxes.
Exactly, for what they had to do. So, qualifying for Cookie and I was pretty boring. We didn't do anything crazy. We actually bogeyed 14 qualifier. Neither one of us was really in trouble. We just bogeyed 14.
Yeah.
When I say not really in a lot of trouble, we played 14 into a pretty good wind. I don't know what it was for you guys, but it was pretty much into the wind. And I actually hit a good tee shot on a great line, and somehow it caught a tree branch, and we found my ball. We couldn't find it at first, and somebody on 10's like, there's a ball over here. So my ball went from being down the right side of the fairway, like in the fairway, to almost in the greenside bunker on 10.
And it was dry over there.
So I had to, it probably kicked back 40 yards.
Right.
So I didn't have I had a terrible lie because, like you said, it's dry over there's not grass. I had to lay up. We both laid up. We didn't make par. It is what it is. It didn't matter. Like, you don't have to go low that day, but yeah, I don't know. It was just pretty standard. It was enough to get a championship flight.
Yeah.
But match-wise, all of our matches were, for us, were close.
I felt like there was a lot of matches, as we saw, Friday or Saturday? Whatever day, there were Friday, 4 upsets in the championship flight, or 3 upsets.
Friday?
Was it Friday or Saturday? Saturday. It must have been Saturday. Saturday.
So
1, 2, and 4 seeds all lost, I think. You guys were the 5, right? I think Tannenbergers were 3, so they got through. I think it was 1, 2, and 4 or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd call...
Well, maybe not all upsets, but...
Maybe surprises because we didn't know who they were.
Right.
Yeah.
I would say that. The 2 seed didn't really shock me. They didn't get that far.
Right.
It didn't. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to be a jerk, but
Right.
it didn't shock me. I didn't know who the guys were, but I found out who they were. So if you want to talk about that. So where'd you finish in your flight? Did you win the beaten eights?
No, we lost championship beating eights.
Beaten eights.
We lost Sunday afternoon down 1, and we lost Friday down 1 as well.
You lost in a semis your flight, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and extra holes.
Yes.
Which, by the way, I was on the cusp of, while standing behind 18 green and everyone was just standing there, of really close to yelling, just go good, and go to the next hole. Yeah. Then I had to, like, educate the kid you were playing after the fact about that. Like, listen.
Yeah.
If you would have missed that 4-footer that you didn't give him, like, you didn't get that putt because he rolled it up there to, like, 3 feet.
Correct.
Okay? You didn't give it to him. Now he's not going to give that to you.
Yep.
Right.
So if you step up and miss that and he makes his, did you want to throw away your entire day because you didn't give up that 3-footer?
Yeah, and I didn't get to see that because I think you guys were coming down 18 as we teed off in the afternoon.
There's a little bit of karma involved in match play there.
Yes. And so that was a bit of a circus hole for me.
Yeah, but you had a hell of a shot from where you were.
Yeah, yes. I clipped that tree on the right, and it kicked directly right on 18. So I was almost I was closer to the first fairway. And then I had one of the other big trees in my way. With the yardage I had and the height I needed to get over that tree didn't add up.
I would say you were probably like 170, 180.
I was like 185, and I had to pick a shorter club to try to get over the tree rather than blast it into the tree and end up God knows where. I actually still clipped the top of the tree.
Ticked a leaf.
Yeah, and it landed, can't tell from back there. It landed maybe 10, 15 yards short of the green and then rolled up maybe 10 feet on. And that pin was back right, so I had like a 50-foot putt.
Yeah.
Which I was very happy with putting that to 3 feet.
Your speed was perfect. I mean, if you start that 3 feet left, it goes in.
I was just say, I actually liked the line I was on when I hit it. Of course, you're hitting a 50-foot putt. It's hard to keep it on line. I pushed it a hair over the mark, a hair right of the mark I wanted, which is why it ended up 3 feet right.
And even if you would have ran that 4 feet by, it wouldn't have stayed on the green.
Right.
Because it would have ran right off the back.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was close enough to the back. Yeah, it would run off.
So I guess what I'm getting at. So I had that like 50-footer. I put it up to about 3 feet. And as I'm walking up, I'm hearing them, the father-son, having a conversation about whether to give me that putt or not. And they were going over all the scenarios in their head. And they're, I don't know, he's made most of these all day, but that was, I don't know, it's 18. Like, I can hear, it's almost comical. I can hear them running through the scenarios whether to give it to me. That's when I wasn't surprised they didn't. So I went up and marked it, and I turned around. You were sitting there. I looked at you like, whatever.
Yeah. And then when he rolled his up, he left his really short, and I think he was outside of you, correct?
Yeah. Who putted first? I can't remember if the father or son putted first. The one that putted first was online and left it I was probably 3 feet. He left it probably 3.5 to 4 feet short. And then whoever putted second was on the same line and left it maybe 3 feet short. Second putt got a little bit closer. But again, them not giving me mine set the precedent where I was like, they're going to have to put this to a foot for me to give it to them.
Right.
Or something like that.
Right. And Ricky hit he was in the fairway and he tugged a shot and he was in the rough. And he probably had a shitty lie over then. He got it out on the green. He probably like 10, 12 feet.
Yeah.
I would say Ricky makes that putt 6 to 7 times out of 10. So if Rick's getting ready to putt, there's a good chance he's making that. I mean, it was a straight putt, and he probably knows that. And he's going to make sure he gets it there. That's just how he putts.
Right.
So there's a good chance he's making that, and Russ is just picking up anyways. And now these two got to quiver over 3-footers.
Yeah.
Yeah. To send it to extra holes.
So they had a quick decision to make, and according to him, after the fact, he told me in the bar that he was telling his dad, we need to go good. And his dad says, when do we do that? And he goes, now.
Yeah.
We do that now because I don't know if he said
before
something.
Rick rolled the putt.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So Rick actually set his ball down, picked up his mark, and backed up to get his line. And that's when one of them said to me, hey, you want to go good here and go to the playoff? So I was like, whatever, which I thought was the right move. That's when I spoke up because Rick was getting ready to address his ball.
Right.
I was like, Rick, you want to go good and go to the playoff? And he's like, yeah. He almost had that. He almost answered like, yeah, that seems like the obvious play here.
Right.
So I think he was surprised they weren't doing that yet.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how. Yeah, because our Friday match, the kid we played, he made a 35-foot par putt on 3 to have the hole. Made a 10-foot downhiller on 4 to have the hole, and then made a 12-foot par putt on 9 to win the match, basically. We started on the back.
Right.
So, which was a very good putting performance, but as I think we saw, the entire weekend was not one of the better ones. But
yeah, we'll get there.
But, our matches were all close. Well, we won 3-2 Saturday. Sunday morning, won 4-3, but I thought everything seemed a lot closer. I expected a couple blowouts in the championship flight Friday, and a lot of stuff seemed much closer than I thought with a couple of the matchups.
I think more people are playing golf.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. The guys we played Friday under normal circumstances probably shouldn't be any worse than 5 and 4 playing us.
Right.
They played rock solid. They made a couple birdies. They played rock solid. Like.
Yeah.
Usually Friday in the championship and first flight, you hear of a couple of teams getting roasted like 8 and 7 or something.
Yeah, but I didn't see any of those.
Yeah.
And even Saturday, I think Saturday we were 4 under, 4 or 5 under, and they still took us to 16.
Right. That's how Sunday morning.
Same with Sunday morning. We were 5 under.
We were second flight. We shot 2 under in 15 holes because that's where we ended it. But
yeah,
and we won 4 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, we played pretty well.
Yeah,
especially for shooting 3 over qualifying round. But
right.
It just feels like all year it's been like that.
And then even in the championship, us losing, they were 5 under.
Right.
We were like 2 or 3. That went to 16.
Yeah.
So all of our matches were extremely tight. And the putting performance you're probably referring to is the guys we played in the championship, who I might sound like a jerk, probably had no business like beating us. They really didn't. I mean, ball striking wise, you were witness to that. For the unorthodox ball striking, their method, I was really surprised how they hit it. And they hit like this. I don't know how much you got to see.
I saw your tee shots on 15 and then 16. That was all I saw.
So they took short back swings, and it was almost like both of them, almost like they chunked the ball.
They looked like they had the same. Obviously, we were coming off 9th green when you guys came off 15 there. It looked like they had the same exact swing.
They had this 3/4, and I'm not kidding you. It never sounded crisp. It was like a chunk, and the ball had some serious topspin on it coming out. Am I wrong in saying that?
No. And even just the ball flight, obviously from the angle we were standing at there, it literally looked like, I don't know what you and Cookie hit on 15. Right, like
7 iron.
I would say 7 or 8 iron. It literally looked like the flight that they came out looked like they hit a 5 iron in there.
Yeah, they probably did.
Yeah, they might have.
Yeah.
Actually hit a 5 iron.
But that's exactly, and it caught up to them a couple times, but they got away with it. Like on 4, they both chunked they had wedges, I believe, or short irons, but because they hit it just that's all it was. It looked like they hit 2 inches behind the ball and just drove it off the dirt, and it sounded fat. And on 4, one guy hit his wedge 30 yards, the other guy left it 15 yards short in the bunker, and then the guy that was still 30 yards off the green decided, I'm going to putt it. And he 2-putted from 30 yards. He had like a 10-footer for par after I just slipped out for birdie.
You said he did that a couple times, right?
He did.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know why?
Because he couldn't chip, I
Probably
heard.
can't chip.
And as you told me, he was cross-handed chipping.
Chipping cross-handed. And nothing against these guys personally, but ball striking wise, Russ can attest to this. Anything they did there was not impressive. Anything. I'll give you a good. There was so much topspin they got away with it. Where I think if Corny had been playing a little softer, they don't get away with it. They really don't. I also don't think they put on the putting performance they did with faster greens.
Right.
They really don't. And I'll get into that. But like on 4, I know, and we all know, that if you land that ball short, it'll trickle up onto the green. The one guy who he was actually further up on the green than the other one. I watched his ball bounce from the tee 3 times, which to me would be an indication that's not getting there.
Right.
Even though you can land it short, like if you see it hop a couple times, it's probably not
3.
3 the par 3.
Oh, 3.
You said
4.
Or 3.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
So
All
3 the par 3.
Yeah.
Saw it hop 3
Yeah.
times.
Yeah, that's not getting there usually.
Usually, right. Normal circumstances,
Yeah,
like if
because
you
usually
see
it
it,
stops on top of the hill.
right, it's landed too short for you to see it hop that many times. Yeah. His ball barely got on the green. Barely. That pin was back left, and he rolled it in.
And that green is, for anybody that doesn't know, probably 25 yards, 20 yards deep.
He had 60 feet, probably. So then he rolls it in there. Then he rolls in a 10-footer for par on 4 to save. He rolls in a 6-footer on 5, I think, to save par and have the hole.
That was a tough pin there. Tucked left.
We won 6 and 7 with birdies. I almost had an ace on 7.
Yep.
I don't know how close it. Did it get past the hole or no?
No.
Okay.
It was short.
But it was on a great line.
It was short on line. Looked like it was going to roll up and stop whatever.
Yeah.
Or 2.5 feet.
And they made me putt the 2.5-footer.
Yep.
Don't ever do that again.
They needed to see it.
They needed to see it. Ron said, I'm going to tell these guys. I play with them all the time. You don't need to see this. I think one of the turning points, too, was we got it back to all square there. Was 8. I had a great tee shot at 8, and somehow my ball ended up left. Like, normally everything kicks a little right there. I was left behind that tree. So I had a little punch
That
shot.
little
up.
that short
Yes.
one that's freaking a pain in the ass all the time.
Yeah. I had a great tee shot there and somehow ended up, I mean, that thing had to kick 20 yards left. I don't know how, but it did. And he rolled one in from front right all the way across the green.
Mm-hmm.
Front right. And then the other guy on 9, Cookie hits it in at like 5 feet. I just leave a birdie putt short, scoop it. He's got 5 feet. This guy's got like 25, 30 feet. That thing's still rolling if it doesn't hit the hole. This thing hit the hole, rattled, went up in the air, and came down. I'm like,
Was he in the back?
back left. Yeah, you're like, what, 25, 30
And
feet there?
that pin was 2 feet, 3 feet on the top of the ridge.
Yeah. I mean, he smoked it. I mean, halfway there, I'm like, that's gone.
Yep.
The hole, up in the air, in the hole. And then same thing on 10. 10, they play the tees down, which I'm not a big fan of. But
I'd much rather play up.
yeah, I mean, it is what it is. You gotta play
I hit my tee shot out there. That was our first hole in the afternoon.
Oh, yeah. So it was for you
I
guys.
hit it dead straight and it freaking hopped twice and went out.
I think it's quirky. I don't mind them doing it, but don't do it Sunday afternoon.
Yeah. It's kind of like 18.
Doing a Friday or Saturday match.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
And then
Go ahead.
then on 10, the one guy, because of the way they hit the golf ball where they slammed the club into the ground, he hit it right on 10. Like, you could see that the thing was just heading right. And normally this thing would hit the green and bounce over and just kind of tumble over off the bank. It kicked left. And I almost thought I heard Pruden make a comment while I'm standing in the fairway.
He did.
Yeah.
That was, like, I don't remember what he said, but it was like, oh, that's right, that he's lost that. And then it kicked left, and Rick was like, what was that? Why did that kick left or something?
Kicked left. Ball cutting. Misses. I mean, the thing must have landed on the
You know how many
fringe.
times my ball cuts and I wish it kicked left?
So that.
Oh, it did.
So then the ball went to the back right corner. It kind of rode the fringe, went to the back right corner. Might even been on the fringe. I don't know. I wasn't close enough to see, but
He rolled it in.
and then he rolled it in, and that's where
that pin is frontish right.
yeah.
I got 6 feet straight up the hill at it. I ended up missing it. I'm just like, at that point, it's like,
That's the one with me driving around following your match. That's the one where, even though there's still a lot of golf left, that was the one where I was like, okay, this is just not going to go their way, unfortunately.
Right.
You don't get that bounce and then roll it in from that distance if you're not having one of those rounds. That was, for me, was the one where I was like, okay, this isn't going to go well.
Cookie was raking the bunker. I'm like, glad you were raking it. You didn't get to see that second shot. He goes, I saw it. I don't want to talk about it. And then 12 was the other one.
Yeah. 12, that guy almost jarred that for an eagle within an inch.
Now, let me ask you this. How far under the green did it land?
Pretty far, actually. It bounced maybe 8 or 10 feet short of the pin. So he actually got it back there pretty good. It bounced 8 or 10 feet short, and then it hit 1 inch right, directly even with the cup. So it almost went in. But then it rolled out to 20 feet past the pin.
Did it come back?
Where was
No.
Was
that
back.
mid left, back left?
No, back
was
right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Middle back. But,
Saturday was left. Yeah.
but he has that 20-footer coming off that slope. Rolls it in.
Put it in for bird.
Dead center.
So Adam and I have played in this 5 or 6 years or so. You've played in it longer than we have. I know this isn't easy for them, but do you think pins should be changed between the morning and afternoon on Sunday?
So I've never played Sunday afternoon. I was wondering if they changed pins.
They do not.
Right. Yeah, they only change tees.
Yeah.
To me, I know it's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
I feel like so for those of you at home, if you get to Sunday, you have to win 2 matches. You have to win a match in the morning, and then you get paired up for a championship match. And I just have always felt like the pins should be in different locations for those 2 rounds.
And do you think it's because this is what we ran into. Because second flight, everything was set, so we were the first group out in the afternoon. One of the beaten 8 matches in the morning in the championship flight ended up going 3 extra holes.
Yep.
They were in front of us, so we wouldn't have been able to go out until those matches are done. Because we even went out before some of the, fourth and fifth flights were even done with their morning match. So you'd have to wait until. So instead of us, because I think Taylor and I were done in the morning at just after 11 in the morning. So then we wait till 2 in the afternoon. So I'm guessing that's why, because you're sitting around for 2 or 3 hours, 3 hours potentially.
Well, they still split tees Sunday morning, right?
Yeah.
So you got split tees. So you got guys crisscrossing in the morning and the afternoon. You have to time it right where you're following a group out and changing pins behind them.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd almost need 2 guys to do that.
Yes, you would.
Right.
You would need 2 guys. And the only hang up would be is if you do go extra holes, you might play a different pin. Which, whatever to me, but.
Yeah, because we were
They did that to Marcus and I last year. Our Friday match, we played Kincaid, his partner.
They were changing a cut for the next day, right?
We went to, we got done. We were all square on 18. We went back to 1, hit our tee shots, got out in the fairway, and they were already mowing, rolling, and changing the pin location. So we had about a 10-minute delay in the fairway waiting for them to finish. And then it was a different pin for our playoff hole versus when we played hole 1.
Yeah, because we were ready to tee off on 10 on Sunday afternoon, and Matt came over quick and he grabbed the tees. He's like, "Guys, we're headed downstairs." So we were like out on the tee box, and Matt came over and he grabbed the tees. He's like, "We're going down."
I know it's a lot of work and there's a lot of logistics to it, and I know it's not easy, but I just feel like those are 2 different rounds of golf played on the same day.
Yeah.
For 2 different rounds of golf, the pins should be in 2 different locations.
Yeah, and you have to do split tees because you got 40 tee times.
Yeah. You
Something
still got a
like
lot
that
of
on
people
Sunday.
playing. So it's just tough.
Yeah.
I mean, same.
40 teams.
I mean, props to those guys. I mean, they putted well. I'm not going to say they played well, unfortunately. That's just my personal opinion from watching it for 18 holes. I don't know what your opinion is on that. I mean, they were steady. They didn't hit it long by any means. But, like on 7, I mean, I birdied 7, which, you know what I mean? It's whatever. They made, like right there, he had to, one of those guys made like an 8-footer down the hill.
Yeah.
If he misses that, they probably just give me that putt.
Right.
But there's a hole right there where they hit the ball with so much topspin, they both hit it halfway up the bank, and they both almost got it on the green.
Yeah.
It landed, it hit the middle of the hill, and just, you guys probably couldn't see where you're at, where it landed. Mm-hmm. That thing landed like literally halfway up the hill and almost rolled all the way up on top.
I just,
do you think
the way the one guy putted, you can't repeat that all the time.
I haven't seen a guy make that many putts, not even in a scramble. That's not even
Do
exaggerating.
you think it helped them being the first time at the course?
Yes, and I was just going to say that.
Not thinking about other stuff.
So, yes, and I'll tell you why. I think I missed
or past tournaments and how quick greens can be.
Yes. So I think all of us, the 3 of us here, would have made more putts, and there's many other people that could say the same thing because we've played that course enough where the greens are faster that we know what putts do. And I can tell you a lot of putts where I hit, and I was like, how did that not go that way? That always goes that way, or it didn't break that much, or, I 3-putted in the finals. I 3-putted number 2 because I had a putt lower right of the hole, like 4 feet, 5 feet. And I'm like, this has got to go half a ball left. I played right edge. It didn't move, and I missed it. I'm like, how does that not move? And I hit it again just straight, and it went in. I'm like, that putt moves. The greens are faster. That putt moves. So, I mean, that's the only hole we gave away. But from what I saw, the best putting I saw from people was the finals. They don't play there. That's the first time we're playing in the tournament. And Joe he putted very well in the semis. Now, Joe does play there every year. He has the last few years. But he doesn't probably play as much as we do.
Right.
And he made some putts.
So, this is my question to you then. Earlier this year, we played in a practice round of tournament. You said it might have been the best putting performance you've ever seen. Was this performance better Sunday, or was it more lucky?
Played in the practice round
with Geezy.
Oh. This was better. This guy was better based on the length of the putts.
Right.
The guy
He made 6 30-footers.
Right? Yeah. That's no exaggeration.
And you guys kept saying, I think he made 200 feet of putts, which is unbelievable.
Yeah. No, he probably did.
Yeah.
So,
Because you just tossing a 10, 12 footers he was making for par.
Right.
So, between the two, this was more impressive. The finals, this guy from the finals match.
Yeah.
So, but I think in fairness, you know this better than anybody. You also don't win that tournament by accident.
No.
So not just considering your match against him, I think you got to give some credit to him because you don't.
No, you do.
You can't just show up and accidentally win this best ball.
No, it's an absolute grind. I think he probably putted well all week. Brad told me he didn't make anything against them, and they lost one down. But
but maybe that's a scenario where the guy had a bunch of 30-footers,
just missed.
rolled them up to a foot, and they were all gimme pars, and that's just how the match worked out.
Yeah. No, you're right. It's a grind. Yeah. It's not easy. Here was my letdown. I've won that tournament 6 times. Believe it or not, I don't know if either of you know this. You probably do. Cookie's never won a best ball. So one of the conversations I had with him was, have you ever won a best ball? And he's like, I'm not going to answer that. And I knew the answer to that already. So my biggest letdown, and not to be too sentimental, was I wanted to win for him.
Right.
I think he was, once we got to the finals, it was also his daughter's birthday. I think there was some hope that we walked home with a trophy and he can go home to his daughter for her birthday and say, hey, I won. He won his first best ball. That was my letdown. I look back and wish I could have made, 1 or 2 more birdies that changed that course or whatever. But you can look back on all of it and say, I should have done this, should have done that. We all could do that all week. No, it sucks. It stung the next day. It was like, still getting text messages from people. And it's like, it doesn't make it any easier because, like you said, it's hard. Like you get in there and it just, it's a grind, man.
Yeah.
I woke up Monday morning. I thought I got beat up.
So people went back to work Monday and people like, oh, good vacation. I was like, no, I'm tired. I need a couple more days.
I've always said the best day to
relax.
take off was the Monday after.
Yeah, it was. And even I texted Taylor Sunday night and I said, good playing with you. He's like, I'm mentally drained.
But he was also drunk.
He was. But yeah, he's like, I'm drained, like I'm tired.
No, it was it was the golf and it's just the atmosphere of seeing people. We were back here again, Friday night? Mm-hmm. Back here again. We played cornhole until 11 o'clock at night in the yard. Everyone just hanging out. And then Sunday it was, all right, I'm going to go in for one. And I forgot I didn't have a lot of food in my system, and neither did you. I was like, I should probably start drinking some water. Got back here and ordered pizza, and we were probably too drunk to drive. Sorry, Mom. But we got back here and got in a little bit of trouble. So, but we had pizza waiting for us.
We did.
Did we have another puke and rally situation for you?
Not so much rally.
Just puke. just puke, and I gotta get out of here. So even Sunday turned into like some pure shenanigans.
Yeah.
Taylor ended up sleeping with his brother, I guess, but
dude, that kid hasn't slept in his own bed in like 3 weeks.
Slept here the one night.
Yeah.
Slept on the couch.
Slept at Hurley's one night.
I had to go pick him up.
Hurley didn't even know him.
Yeah.
I was talking to Hurley that next morning on the putting green. He's like, yeah, you know that Taylor kid? I'm like, yeah. Yeah, he slept on my couch last night. He's like, I don't know, he seems like an all right guy.
Yeah. I got to the course. Kyle's like, hey, you owe me $25 for your partner's Uber ride. I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, I had to go pick him up this morning.
So apparently, Merrill called his wife.
That was Thursday. Was that Thursday night? Had been Thursday night.
Yeah, I think it was
because
Thursday.
Wednesday and Friday we were here. So
Merrill calls his wife. Kept telling Taylor, like, oh, just stay with me. I've got a guest room. Stay with me. So he calls his wife. And I don't know what she said on the phone. And he was he looked at Taylor. He's like, guest room's a no-go. But then Merrill said, my wife picked me up. And she was like, where's Taylor? And he's like, you said it was a no-go. She's like, I didn't mean that. He could have stayed. He's like, well, he's staying with Jason. But overall, it was a good weekend.
Yep.
We don't have to wait a year to play it again. That's the good news.
that's true.
Yeah, not quite.
And you'll have your partner back.
10 months.
Yep. Rick and I overall had a good weekend. It was a one and done because we both had partners back out for various reasons.
Yeah.
So should have my other partner back next year.
I think overall, not taking the golf out of it, I think we all expected less out of, hanging out there and having. And I think it was still a good time. There definitely weren't as many people. Obviously, they didn't have the bands and stuff. But
Saturday night was there was probably still, 20 people there?
You guys you ordered pizza and
We had pizza
everything?
delivered, and we hung out at the golf course.
So Saturday night, I mean, you know who. Won't throw the name out there. I don't know how many people like their name on this, but he ended up ordering a bunch of pizzas for us because like you said, we still had like 20 people there. They want us there. They want the bar business.
Yeah.
You got to provide some food of some
Right.
sort. This guy,
Which I think is going to change next year. I think
Yeah.
it's probably what they're going to do, just order a bunch of pizzas. But
because this guy ordered a few pizzas, paid for them himself, kind of as a thank you for us still hanging out there.
the night ended with we all, like the three of us needed rides to our cars that parked down by the pool. So he dropped the tailgate of his truck and had him
Guys,
drive.
just so you know, it's like 100 yards.
Hey, it's a long walk. But we all sat in the back of his tailgate while we're smoking cigars. Give us a ride down to
I
the
taxied him down there.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a couple club throwers tonight, but I've been trying to detox and smoke less cigars because I had a few of those this weekend too.
Every time I saw
not.
you were pulling another cigar out of your pocket.
Yeah. For some reason, I didn't have a single one.
Did you? What?
Yeah, I don't know why.
No elephant butts.
Nope.
Dude, I texted
man.
Kyle yesterday. I was like, hey, who rolls those cigars? Because I need to get some.
They're easy. They're basic. I like them.
Yeah.
Anything else, boys? It was a good weekend. I'm still tired.
Just excited for start of, obviously basketball was good, but start of basketball and hockey coming up. And
Are any of you playing golf this week?
no,
Yeah, I don't know if I am either.
I'll probably take
I might.
week or two off. Maybe play next week, mid next
Yeah,
week
I haven't-
sometime.
I haven't been to our home course in seems like forever. So
It's been a
I don't
while
know.
for me.
Maybe Saturday, Sunday, I might go up and walk around just for the hell of it.
Yeah, let's see what's going on. But
As of right now, I don't have anything planned.
all right, gentlemen, it's been fun. We'll do this again next week.
Roger that.
Later.
We'll be